What's going on, everybody? Liam O'Reilly, Vermont Economic Realtor with Jerry Riley Real Estate. I hope you're doing well. Talking today about the April market stats for the Northwestern Vermont region. Talking about Chittenden County, Franklin County, and Grand Isle County. Looking at the stats for those three counties here. I think the statistics, even though it's April stats, are pretty indicative of the May market here. Listings have picked up a little bit in May, but inventory is still way down. New listings are still down year over year, even in May. And there's just not that many homes for the amount of people that want to purchase them. But let's take a look at the numbers and help you make a better decision in your home buying or home selling process. So let's get right into it here. April 2023 market stats. So this is the snapshot of what's going on. As you can see, new listings down 25% year over year for single family homes, down 36% for condos, which is just crazy. Pending sales, single family homes down 22%, townhomes and condos down 26%. Now, something I noticed here is if you look at the bottom of the screen there, the closed sales in the monthly snapshot, closed sales were only 10%, or only down 10% over last year. And I think what that has to do is you got to remember a lot of the closed sales, it takes about 45 to 60 days to close a property here in Vermont. So a lot of those sales are transactions that went under contract in May or excuse me, not May, in March or February, where listings were down and people weren't selling their homes like they do in the spring market, right? Listings go up even though they're down year over year, they're still up seasonally from where they were in over the winter. So I think the pending sales down 10% is more of a reflection, or excuse me, the closed sales down 10% is more of a reflection of the seasonality of these of the market as opposed to what's going on currently. I think as we go into the future and as we look at closed sales in June and July, we're going to see them down 20, 25, maybe 30% like we're seeing with pending sales here. So I think that's what's going on with that number there. Something I wanted to bring up is the percentage over the percentage of list price that a property receives. Now, this is just the more in-depth version. To get to this link, you just click the download April market report at the bottom here. That brings you over to a more in-depth view of what's going on in the Northwestern Vermont housing market. And what we're looking at here is a chart of percentage of original list price received. So if we look at April, homes received 99.6% of original list price. Townhomes and condos are at 102. So, pretty much right around 100% of asking price. And there was a buyer who called in the other day and they mentioned that they saw that homes around Vermont aren't selling for 100% of list price. So when they buy their home, they're not going to offer 100% of list price. So I just wanted let's look at some closed sales. These are sales that have closed this week and just see what's going on with list price. So let's see here. The home that I was just in here, East Road, Colchester. So 1827 East Road, Colchester, listed for $825, sold for $825. So right around list price. Even though 99.6%, that's pretty much 100%. It's still a lot lower than we've seen over the past few years. And I think this will help give you an idea of what's going on. So P Ridge Road here in Ferrisburg, you can see listed for $950, ended up closing for $825. So this was on the market for over 200 days. It was a more unique property, 50 acres, 3,500 square feet. So, not quite as many buyers for a property like this, which is probably why it sold for under list price. Obviously, a lot of days on market. I didn't see this one in person, so I can't, give insight into what took this property so long to sell or why it sold for under. But as you can see, some properties are selling for under asking. Now, as we move on here, 50 Morgan Road in Jericho, listed for $600,000, sold for $700,000, 3 days on the market. 15 Sabin Street in Montpelier, listed for $525,000, sold for $652,000. So again, almost $125,000, a little over $125,000 over asking. Then we have Middle Road in Swanton, sold for list price, listed for $649,000, sold for $649,000. Athens Drive in Essex, listed for $545,000, sold for $611,000. Looking at over $60,000 over list price. 33 Randall Street in Waterbury, listed for $479,000, sold for $600,000. I mean, $120,000 over list price, and they were listing it at 480. So it's not like this was $1 million home that sold for over $100,000 over. This was, listed at 480, and it still sold for over 100 grand over. Starbird Road in Jericho listed for 559, sold for $650,000 over. So we could keep going through these, but I didn't cherry pick these. These are just homes that sold this week. I just went from the top of the list down. Again, Outback Road in Fairfax listed for 529, sold for 570. So lots of homes are selling for over list price, and that's not, you know when you average it all out and you look at the stats, yeah, it only comes to 99.6, which is right around 100% of list price. So you might look at that stat and say, oh, well, the average home is selling for list price. I'm not going to pay more than that. But if you look at what's actually going on in the market, homes are, some homes are selling for over list price, some homes are selling for under list price. And that's why, listening to your agent, listening to your realtor, and seeking the right advice when making these purchases is important. And really paying attention to things like the days on market, what area the property's in, what makes this property unique or special, and what makes it similar to other properties that have sold around it. Is it a fair asking price? These are all things you need to be asking when you're out there purchasing a property. Now, if you're a seller, I think what you want to do is, as I've said many times, you still want to look to get multiple offers. You want to look to price your property appropriately so that you get a few offers, so that it gets bid up, and you are in a position where you can say, my home sold for $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 over list price with less contingencies. That's going to put you in the best position as a seller, and pricing your property appropriately is the best thing to do, as opposed to like that one on Randolph Street. If they had priced it at 600, they might not have even gotten list price, but instead, they priced it more appropriately. The property got bid up, and they ended up with potentially more than they would have got if they had listed at 600 or even higher and tried to get offers underneath. It's just the nature of the market right now. All right, moving on to some other stats, and taking a look at what's going on. So median sales price, we're basically flat year over year. If you look to the left, the highlighted portion right there, April, we're up slightly, but pretty much flat. About 1.5% increase. Nothing too crazy. And if we look at the chart down at the bottom here, you can see it's pretty much following the trends, where it dips in the winter, comes back up in the spring and summer. And we're probably going to get back to where we were last summer. I mean, it looks like we're heading that way. I don't think we're going to see year-over-year declines, certainly not significant year-over-year declines moving into the rest of 2023. Part of that has to do with, let's see if we can get to it here, the new listings. So let's see, new listings year to date. Now, what I think is really telling of what's going on is look at these green graphs up at the top here. So we have April year to date. I'll scroll down a little bit so you can get a better view. New listings. So 2021, new listings, 269 listings. Then 2022, much slower year, 194 listings. And now we look at 2023, 145 listings compared to where it was back in 2021. It was almost double the amount of listings that we have this year in 2021. And 2021 was still a hot market. So again, what's driving prices up and what's keeping the Vermont housing market strong is the lack of inventory, the lack of new listings. Now, if we look at the year-to-date data, there were 700 listings year-to-date in 2021. Now there's only 455. I mean, new listings are way down year over year. They're down from 2021 levels, and that's really affecting the overall housing market. I mean, at the end of the day, there's more buyers. There's not enough sellers to satisfy the demand that we're seeing. Now, if we just look at a quick snapshot of what's going on here, actually, we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom to take a quick look at everything. So what this chart is it's townhomes and single family homes, all properties. So New listings down 28% year over year. Pending sales down 23%. Closed sales down 10%. We already talked about that. Median sales price up 4%. Again, I think we're going to see slight increases, if not pretty much flat median sales price this year. Um, Homes for sale down 3.1%. So the reason why inventory is such a crucial metric to look at when comparing to last year and what's going on this year. So last year, inventory was the main thing that was selling, and it's pretty much the same this year. But basically, there weren't many homes on the market. Inventory was pretty low, and so new listings were the ones that were selling. So new listings would hit the market, they would go right away. Inventory wouldn't build. Now over the winter and from last fall, inventory built slightly because of the higher interest rates and the uncertainty in the market. People were wondering, are home prices going to come down? They were a little bit fearful. And now that the spring market's here, now that people have adjusted to interest rates, prices have continued to go back up. Inventory is pretty much where it was last year. If you look at homes for sale, it's down 3%, so a little bit lower. But on top of that, the new listings are down so significantly, down almost 30% from last year in the month of April, which, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not good. There's just not enough homes for people to buy. We need more inventory. So if somebody's wondering why is the housing market still so hot, especially here in Vermont, it's because there's a lack of inventory for the amount of people that want to be here, and we're seeing that reflected in the numbers, and that's what's keeping prices stable, if not continuing to rise slightly here in the Burlington area. So anyway, Liam O'Reilly, Vermont Economic Realtor. All my contact information is in the description. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, feel free to reach out to me directly. If you're looking in another state, reach out to me. I'd be happy to find you a great realtor who knows what they're doing in whatever area you're looking. Other than that, leave a comment. I love knowing what you think about these videos. Give your opinion on the market. What are you seeing out there? And I'll see you guys in the next video.